Have you ever looked at a Simmer's game and ever wondered why their game looks so much better than yours? Well, I used to be that person and I had no one to help me and I had to figure out all my own. So now I'm gonna be that person for you and I'm gonna show you how to make your Sims 4 game look so much better. I'm gonna walk you through several different methods to make your game look super nice, from just simple in-game fixes to adding mods and other programs. All the methods that I'm showing you can be used alone or they can be used together so you can find the perfect balance to make your game as beautiful as you want it to be. Also, I highly recommend, before you do any of these things, back up your Sims game. To do this, you're just gonna go to Documents, Electronic Arts, and then into the Sims folder. From here, you can choose whatever you want to save from here. Personally, I'm gonna just back up my entire game. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna personally put it on the server that my household uses. But you can put it on a cloud service, a flash drive, an external hard drive. Just get it somewhere that's not in this folder. That way, in case something goes wrong or something gets corrupted or you want to undo it an easy way, you can always bring back the backed up version and put that back in and you'll be able to play. One of the easiest ways to make your builds and screenshots look better in game is to just utilize the lighting in-game. On 2019, Mrs. Tomato on Twitter created lighting maps. These maps showcase which lots and at which times they have the best lighting in-game. As far as I'm aware, she hasn't updated to create any more maps for packs that have come out since then, so these maps do only go to Del Sol Valley, but if you use them as kind of a guide to see what lighting is good in the game, you'll be able to then use that information that you've gained yourself to go figure that out for lots in other worlds as well. I've linked these maps down below, but I will also put them on the screen here to kind of give you an idea, and I will show you what they look like in game. So we're looking at Oasis Springs right now. So this is the Oasis Springs map, and you can see that different lots have different squares around them with different colors. So the ones with blue squares have the best lighting in the morning, the ones with yellow have the best afternoon lighting, and the purple squares are for evening lighting, and if there's a black square, there are objects blocking the view. Thankfully, Oasis Springs doesn't have any of that, but later packs like Get to Work have lots with objects blocking the view. So you can see there's one here in Magnolia Promenade, there's one here in Granite Falls, and in Windenburg, there are a bunch. In Oasis Springs, most of the lots have good lighting because Oasis Springs actually has good lighting compared to a lot of the other worlds. But I'm going to show you the lighting on a lot that doesn't have good lighting versus a lot that does have good lighting. And I'm also going to show you this without my reshade so you can see it with the actual graphics in the game. So you can see this lot right here. This is the Raffia Quinta lot, which is this 20 by 15 that does not have any squares around it for good lighting. So you can see here that this is the morning lighting, the afternoon lighting, the evening lighting, and the nighttime lighting. None of it is very good. It's kind of dark. There's a lot of shadows going on. This is probably the best of all three of them, but it's still kind of just ugly and it's not very nice looking. From this direction, I would say that this actually is pretty decent lighting. The colors are much brighter and there are way less shadows, but still, it's not the best lighting. Now this lot here is the Vista Quarry lot. It's right across from the one I just showed you right here. And this one is marked as having really good evening lighting. So this is the morning lighting that you can see here. It's kind of just sad looking. It's dark, it's shadowy. The afternoon lighting is not too bad. It brightens up a little bit. There's still some shadows going on across the house itself. And then the evening lighting. This is where you get some really pretty lighting happening. You get some nice bright spots, you get some really cool shadows looking over here. And obviously good lighting is going to be a little bit subjective. Like you might see this and you don't think this is good lighting because you just don't like the style of it. And that also plays into this good lighting. But this is a beautiful lighting and I would definitely use this for screenshots. It's a little bit moody. It just kind of gives it that little bit of like oomph that some of the other lighting doesn't have. And this is the nighttime lighting, which actually isn't that bad either. But if the lot was lit up a little bit more, it would look even better. But I only have like 2 outdoor lighting. So that's on me. But that's kind of the difference of good lighting versus bad lighting in the game. Now I will show you one more lot with even better lighting. This lot is the lot where the land grabs live. You can see that this lighting is actually awful. Everything is in shadow. There are shadows reflecting onto the building and everything too. It's just very dark right here. But if you go to the afternoon lighting is actually pretty nice. I don't think it's great for this lot. I think if the lot was like a white color, it would look even more incredible. But it's much better lighting. It's very lit up. There's not a lot of shadows going on, and this is going to be a good one for screenshots. And evening lighting is very beautiful. I would definitely use this one for screenshots with this build itself, but also if it was a lighter color, I think that would also look really nice in here too. You can see that lighting really makes a difference. So if you're trying to make screenshots and post content or just keep them for yourselves, putting your builds on lots with better lighting will instantly make your game look a lot better. Or if you're filming video, it'll also make it look way better. If you're not making content in The Sims, then it really doesn't matter what all you play on, but personally, I do prefer to play and just build on lots of better lighting because you can see everything a lot better. And I just think it's overall a better experience when you're playing on a lot with good lighting. But I will link these world maps down below so that you can use them for yourself and and find what lots you like best. Another quick fix to make your game look better is game settings. I will make a disclaimer though, that the settings that you can run your game on are dependent on what your computer can handle. So personally, my PC can handle ultra graphics, but your PC or your laptop might be able to. So I'm going to show you a few settings that you can change to make your game look nicer if you are playing at medium or low graphics. If you're at higher ultra graphics, it's not going to make much of a difference, but these little fixes will really elevate your game. I will also show you this without my region on to get an actual idea of what these graphics look like. So to change your settings, you're going to go to the three dots in the top right corner and you're going to go to game options. This is where you can find your settings. I currently play in windowed full screen. If you have multiple monitors, I really recommend using windowed full screen. It allows you to click out of your game easily without needing to tab out or do anything else to access other tabs or something else on your computer. If you don't have multiple monitors, you can choose between full screen or windowed. I prefer full screen as a player. I don't like the way the windowed looks, but it's up to you. If you choose full screen, you'll have a option to change the resolution and the refresh rate. And if you play on windowed, you'll have the chance to change the resolution. I'm going to tell you more about these later on in the next section of how to find what resolution and refresh rate is best for your game. But for right now, I'm going to keep mine on windowed full screen because that's what I use, and these settings also don't affect anything else. So you can see that my game is currently run on high settings. It looks a little bit sad because the lighting is not great in this lot, but it's where I had a house with a family set up. But you can see all the details on your Sim's face. The edges are very smooth on everything, nothing's super jagged, and overall, it just is pleasant to look at. If you play on high, it's very similar, except the Sim's textures are going to be a little lower and the lighting is going to be a little bit lower. If you play on medium, everything's going to be on medium with edge smoothing off. Low medium, it has everything on low. It turns off these toggles right here, and it turns off edge smoothing. Then if you go to low, it turns everything to low, it turns edge smoothing off, and it turns reflections off, as well as turns laptop mode on. If you play on a laptop mode is a great setting to have on, regardless of what you have your graphics settings at, because it will make your game run faster, but it does lower the visual quality. So you do sacrifice a little bit of quality of the game, but it does run faster. That's also a personal preference, but it will run better if you play on laptop mode. So here, I'm going to show you my game on super low graphics. So this is the lowest the graphics can go. And you can see here, we're going to look specifically at the Sim. The details are very fuzzy. You can see there's very jagged edges all over her as well, and on all of the other items. So you can see on these rocks, it's jagged, the stairs, even like the plants, everything's a little bit jagged. So if you're running on low or any other setting, go ahead and turn on edge smoothing. Turn it up on high, and then see how your game looks. So you can see here that the edges are completely soft now. There's no jagged edges, and it's an easy quick fix to make your game just look so much nicer and easier on the eyes. I've also done some testing, and if you turn on edge smoothing up to high, even if your other graphics are on low as possible, it does not impact the GPU performance significantly. So you can easily have edge smoothing up, even if you have to have all of the other settings low, and it'll make your game look so much better. I also put screenshots right here so that you can see the difference of edge smoothing on versus edge smoothing off. The next one I'm going to talk about is VSync. So vertical sync right here is a toggle you can turn on or off. I recommend turning it on, but it's not something you can necessarily see that it's on or off. But this keeps the screen from tearing, which is what happens when your graphics card renders frames faster than your monitor can display them and can cause weird looks on your monitor. Basically, it can make it kind of look like the top half of your screen is part of what you're seeing, and then like there's like a break in it halfway through, and then there is the bottom half being slightly different and slightly off. And that can happen, and it'll like adjust and it'll be constantly moving, and it's really annoying to watch. So I highly recommend turning that on. It also does not impact GPU performance, so it's safe to have on and it shouldn't impact the performance of your game. Third setting that you should turn on is Sims quality. So right here is the Sims quality. So this impacts the quality of your Sim, how they look. So again, as a reminder, you can see here that all of the details on her dress are very fuzzy. You can tell it's floral, but that's kind of it. It's just very fuzzy and it's not very detailed. But if you go to here, you can raise it up to however high you'd like. This is the setting that may impact your GPU usage. So I would recommend trying them out and seeing which one runs best on your computer. Now that it's on ultra high, you can see that the details on the Sim are just so much better than what they were when they were on low. And again, this isn't going to impact the performance of your game a lot, but it might affect it a little bit. So make sure you're keeping an eye on that and not overwhelming your computer. The last setting to change that will really make a difference is actually optional. This is kind of just optional if you want it. It, again, does not really impact the performance of your game. And that setting is reflections. Reflections affects the reflections in game. So things like mirrors or water or pools and things like that, this is what that'll control. So I will show you a mirror right now while it is off. So you can see here that there is no reflection. It's just kind of is that like drawing style. It's supposed to be like glass and reflection, but it's not. Now that it's on high, you can see the reflection of the room. Not everything apparently reflects though. That's weird. Okay. Again, the setting is up to you if you want to use it, but reflections definitely add a little bit of realism for me and my gaming. So it's something that you may like to add that little bit of realism to your game. So now I'm going to show you some settings that you can change on your actual graphics card on your computer to give it the effect of a reshade. So your graphics card also has settings that you can change within it to impact the colors in your game. However, these settings will not reflect within the game. So if you take screenshots or if you take video or anything like that, it will not be reflected. This is directs specifically the monitor that you're playing on and only that. So just keep that in mind when I show you these. I will be specifically talking about NVIDIA graphics cards as that's what I have in my computer, and about 80% of computers and laptops do use NVIDIA graphics cards. If you, by chance, do not have an NVIDIA graphics card, there are going to be some similar settings within yours, but I don't know how to show you that because I don't have one to show you, but you can easily search it up and find the way to change these settings. You're gonna start by right-clicking on your desktop, and then you're gonna go down here to NVIDIA Control Panel, and then it'll open this panel right here. If you remember saying earlier how your resolution can affect your game, this is where I'm gonna show you how to change your resolution and make it correct. So by default, your monitor is gonna be using one of these resolutions right here. It'll be in the Ultra HD, HD, or SD. But if you scroll down to where it says PC here, it'll have a bunch listed here as well, and one of them will say native. So that's what the default is for your monitor, and usually the highest that your monitor can go. So you're gonna make your resolution to the native resolution that's listed here. And then you're gonna go to the refresh rate and make it as high as it can go. I have 3 options. You're gonna make it as high as it can go. This is gonna make your game and everything else on your computer just look a lot smoother and run a little bit nicer. Once you have those set, you're just gonna hit apply, and you're going to accept those conditions. The other thing that we're gonna do in here is we're gonna go over here to adjust desktop color settings. And this is where we're gonna kind of recreate a reshade preset in here. There's several settings in here, but the ones we're gonna talk about are brightness, contrast, and digital vibrance. This is really a play around and see what works and what you like. But you are basically just going to bring up your brightness, your contrast a little bit, bring up your vibrance. Vibrance is going to be a big one, as is the brightness. And you're just going to kind of play around with this until you find something that you like. So this is what my settings I've set at for right now. And I'm going to open my game and show you how it looks. You can see on the loading screen already, it's much brighter and much more vibrant color-wise. This is what it looks like in my game. The colors look so much brighter and vibrant and just overall a lot nicer than what they looked like before. But this is why I say that this is a trial and error thing. You find what you like. Because personally, I think this brightness is a little bit too high for me. With the vibrance is also a little bit high. But I also might bring the contrast up a little bit more. And the contrast can help level things out a little bit. And you can just kind of play around with it until you find a color combination that you like. Or if you want to make it like darker, you could. A little darker, a little bit moodier. Honestly, that's kind of fun if you bring it to that with like the vibrance and bring up the contrast. You can do all kinds of things. There will be a lot of ugliness to this first until you find the settings that you like. But this is a great way to do this. And again, these aren't reflected in your game itself. These are just for your monitor. So I highly recommend just writing down what settings you like and only changing the settings when you go into your game, because I don't think you'll like these settings for your actual monitor. So it'll look really funny if you're when you're sending emails or scrolling through Twitter or something while you have these settings on. So they by default start at 50 and then just change them to find whatever color combination you like the best. Game mods are another way to enhance your in-game lighting. There are a plethora of mods that you can use to change the lighting in your game. I'm going to show you 3 specifically, but there are tons more that you can use. First up is the NoBlu version 2 and the NoGlo version 2 by Lumia Sims. This NoBlu mod removes the bluish tint that is part of the game while you're in buildings. And you can see here that this is the Maxis lighting, and then right over here is the game with the NoBlu. The blue tint is away. And this is kind of a personal preference. If you like the blue, then you keep the blue. But personally, as a hater of the blue tint, I like using this one. And the NoGlo mod here brightens up the lighting specifically on Sims. So you can see here that the sim right here on the left, this version of Eliza, looks very dark, but with the NoGlo and the NoBlu mod, this is what they look like, much brighter and also without that blue tint. You do need both these mods together to work correctly, otherwise you'll end up with Sims glowing in the dark, which is a personal preference. If you want your sim to glow in the dark, then by all means, have your sim glow in the dark, but I do recommend using both of these. And you download them like you would any other mod. You go down here, you can choose to download them from Sims File Share. Make sure you have the most updated version. So go ahead and grab whichever one's the newest. And you're gonna download. And if you've downloaded mods before, you're gonna go to Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, and then Mods. And then you can just save it right to there. And you can do that for both of them. So you can see here with both of these mods on, the blue tint is completely gone. that used to be in here. And it just looks so much more lovely. And my Sim's skin is much better. She looks a little bit washed out, but that's just, it's the lighting mixed with her skin tone because she's a very light skin tone. But I do think this looks really lovely. And this is without Reshade on. Like, it doesn't look terrible without Reshade on right now. So those two mods together are very, very powerful, and they can do a lot of great things in this game. Now we're going to talk about lighting overhaul mods. The one specifically we're going to talk about is Sunblind by Softer Haze, but there are a bunch that you can get, but this is the most popular one by far. If you ask someone what lighting mod they use, they're most likely going to say Sunblind. So if you want your game to look even better, this mod completely overhauls all of the lighting in the game, and it's fine-tuned for each different world to make it match the energy and the vibes of each world. So they're not all going to look the same, and it's truly a beautiful mod, and it really makes a difference in the lighting. You can see on these screenshots right here how much of a difference it makes. This right here on the left is without the mod, and on the right is with the mod. Just look at how beautiful these colors are. And it's formulated for each world, so they're not all going to have the same lighting, and it just looks so nice. Now, the download for this is a little intimidating, so I am going to walk you through how to download this mod. If you do prefer written instructions, those are linked down below, and that link also includes instructions for the first part of this for downloading and opening the files for Mac, as I don't have a Mac and I can't show you that, but that steps a little bit differently. But there will be a point where we will be doing all the same things. You're going to start by going down to the bottom of their page, which is linked down below. You're going to hit download now. Then you're going to be able to download it. Don't put it right into your mods folder. Put it right into your downloads tab. Once it's downloaded, you're going to click on the zip folder, and you're going to right click and you're going to unzip it. I personally have a program on my computer called 7-Zip, so it adds a bunch of extra settings, but there should be something in here where you can unzip your file. I'm going to just tell it to extract here, which I apparently already have it, but I don't know where it is, but I'll find it. But once you have it unzipped, there'll be a folder called Sunblind, and that's where you find your mod. Now, once you have this open, you're going to go to your EA app, and then you're going to hit manage, view properties, and then open the folder. And that'll open the game file folder. And that is the easiest way to open the game file folder because we'll need this. You can see that both of these have a data and a delta folder. Those are the files that we're going to be using. The data folders are the base game files, and the delta are for DLC. Now, before you do this, I just want to specify that you should not be copy and pasting full folders. If you go into here, into any of these, you'll find folders. You don't want to copy and paste folders. We're going to copy and paste files specifically. So make sure you're not copy and pasting full folders and just files. At this point, this is where the process is the same for both PC and Mac. So we're going to start with the base game. So you're going to go into your game files first, and you're going to go to data. You're going to go to simulation. So you're going to go to data, and then shared, then worlds, and then areas. And that'll bring you to this folder of files. You're going to do the same thing for the mod folder. Data, shared, worlds, areas. And then you're just going to copy and paste all of these. So you're going to select them, gonna right click and click copy, and then you're going to paste onto the other folder. And it will ask you if you want to replace these files. You're going to say yes. Once you finish transferring the files for the base game, which is the data files, you're going to do the exact same thing with your delta files. So you're going to go into delta, and then the folder right in Sunblind will go right into the EPs, same with delta. And you just have to make sure that the number of the EP or game pack that you're installing, it matches the right one. So EP1, and just keep in note that not all DLC have worlds. So the mod only has files for packs with worlds. So you can see that goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It skips 5 because Seasons doesn't have a world, and then goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it kind of just keeps going down. And only a few game packs have worlds. So just make sure you are doing the right files into the right DLC. Another annoying thing that you have to do with this is you do have to reinstall it every time there is an update, which is rather annoying, but the game regenerates all of the files like this every time the game gets updated, so you do have to keep re-adding it. So just keep your Sunblind files somewhere safe that you know where it is. That way you can easily go back and update your files every time after an update. You also don't need to use the files for every single world if you don't want to. If there's a world that you don't like using very often, or if you find another overhaul mod like this that you would rather use instead for some worlds, you can do that. You can run 2 different mods like this at the same time. The only thing is that you can only run one in each world. So if you find another overhaul mod that you like, you can run them together, just not in the same world. You're just going to keep repeating these steps for every single DLC world that you have or want to use. And then once you finish that, you can go ahead and open your game and see how beautiful it is. And I'm going to show you exactly that. So let me show you how it looks. And then once you're in your game, you can really see just how beautiful the lighting is with the mod. It's not super noticeable with every time of day or like every lot, but you can definitely see it with the sky and how it adds this beautiful sunset right here. And you'll be able to see that throughout the different worlds. And just know that this mod only really affects exterior lighting. Interior lighting does not really change. But you can also stack this with all of the other mods that we've used. So right now I do have the NoBlu and the NoGlo, and I'm also gonna turn on my Reshade really fast so you can see it. So even with my Reshade, it looks even more beautiful. Just look at this lighting. It's just so much more vibrant and beautiful. I just love it so much. It just impacts so much of this game. And then here it is without the Reshade. It's just so nice. So that's how you install the Sunblind mod. Now let's talk about Reshade. Reshade is a post-processing program. Try saying that 3 times fast. That's took me way too many takes to say, but it's a program that runs outside of your game, and it basically puts a filter over your game to make it look nicer. This program works by installing presets or creating your own preset and adjusting settings on your own. But personally, I like to use presets because I don't understand how any of the actual settings work in the program itself, and I can't be bothered to make my own, so I use ones other people made, because they're better than what I could do. And I just want my game to look pretty. The preset I use is Dove 2.0 by Kindle Spice. It is probably the most used preset for Reshade across all simmers who use it. Most people that I know that use Reshade also use this preset, but there are tons that you can choose from. I will link Dove 2.0 down below, but feel free to go out and find your own and see what really fits your game and your preferences. Reshade is unfortunately a very heavy program to run on your computer, so if you're not playing on a gaming laptop or gaming PC, it's very possible it won't run on your computer, as it just requires too much power to run the game and the program at the same time. And unfortunately, it also only runs on PC and not Mac. There is, however, another program called Gshade. It's very similar to Reshade, except it takes a lot less power on your PC's end to run it, so it's a little bit easier to run. Again, it's still not compatible with Mac, but you can run it on slightly lower end computers. I used this program for a while until there was an update for it, and the developer put in like malware or some suspicious files in it. So I stopped using it at that point. I don't know if this issue has been resolved or if it's still there. I think it has been, but it's been a few years since then. So definitely use this one at your own risk. But if you want the effects of having presets without having to run Reshade, this is your way. Reshade can also be a little intimidating to install. It's also something that I don't have a lot of knowledge on how to install. Personally, I use a lot of tutorial videos as well when I'm working with Reshade. So I'm not gonna make you sit here through a very bad tutorial that's probably gonna mess up your game and have to change a lot of things afterwards. Instead, I'm going to refer you to 2 different tutorials. First, this one by Miss Lollipop Sims. This is a tutorial on how to install Reshade, as well as installing presets and even converting Gshade presets to Reshade. And then this is a tutorial by Ocean Sims on how to install Gshade. These are both of the tutorials that I used in the past when installing both of these programs, and I highly recommend them, and they're very good. So make sure you go watch those while you're installing these programs onto your computer. And then I'm going to show you a side-by-side of my game versus the game with no Reshade on it, just so you can see how much of a difference it can make using Reshade versus not using Reshade. It just makes your game look so much more beautiful. And this will also work when you are taking screenshots or video recordings, but you do need to set up a special hotkey as well as a folder in your PC so that you can take Reshade screenshots so that it captures the Reshade. And then if you're using NVIDIA GeForce to record your gameplay, or if you're using OBS, it should also capture on those as well. As you can see, there are tons of different ways to improve the look of your game, from just using different LUTs to outside programs. Hopefully this video has been helpful in showing you what you can do, and now you're able to go create a beautiful looking game. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below in the comments. I'm not an expert on these. This is just what I've picked up along the way of trying to make my game look nicer for my content and my own enjoyment, but I will do my best to answer any questions that you have in the comments. Also, I do make short form content on all of the platforms, and I also do live stream on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern and Thursday at noon Eastern. If you want to come join us over there, we'd love to have you. It's really fun. I also have a Discord that's linked down below if you want to join us while we are offline. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.